Thanksgiving. Today's November 29th, and I'm currently in Bend, Oregon. It's kind of funny that I'm here because I made a video, like, over the summer, I think, saying, like, one last goodbye to Bend because I didn't think I would be back for a really long time. But here I am for Thanksgiving. I didn't know we were going to be here, but my family is never a family that travels for holidays. Like, I can't even remember ever going on a trip for the holidays. So this is like a first for my family. But anyways, we're in Bend, Oregon for today, and then we leave tomorrow morning. So really only one full day. But I wanted to talk about books because what's new? We're going to talk about These Violent Delights because this book changed the trajectory of my life, not to be dramatic. These Violent Delights is a book by Micah Nemerever, and I am speechless. I finished it about an hour ago. Let me give a little backstory. So my special interest the past few months has been a crime, and it's the Leopold and Loeb case, which is from the 1920s, and basically what happened is these two kids that were like insanely intelligent, just kind of, their intelligence almost isolated them from the rest of the world, and they found each other. They met, or how did they meet? They met somehow or another, I think through school or something, and they kind of bonded in a really, like, deprecating way. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but so basically these two, like, 17, 18-year-old kids in the 1920s in Chicago decided that they wanted to commit the perfect crime. And they kind of did it in the name of Nietzsche, the philosopher, which is so funny to me. I don't know why it's so funny, but they really took his idea and ran with it. So basically they wanted to commit the perfect crime. That was the basis of their motivation. They didn't have any other motive aside from that. So they picked this kid up off the street named Bobby Franks, who they knew, like, kind of, like, they knew who he was and the kid knew who they were, but it wasn't like they were friends, really. I think it was like a neighbor or a family friend or something this kid was the child of, I guess. I don't know. So they pick this kid up off the street and they murder him, essentially. And then they put, I think, acid on his body or something and then dumped the body. But the part that gave them away was that, I can't remember which one of them it was, but one of them dropped a pair of their glasses at the place that they dumped the body, and that essentially traced them back to the crime, and they were convicted for it, and they pleaded guilty, and they were sentenced to life in prison. But anyways, so this crime, I don't know what it is, and they also, I didn't say this, but they were also kind of like, they were intimate with each other. They were like lovers, I guess. I don't really know. I feel like everything that I read just never really said much about what their relationship was. I don't know if they were just skirting around it, but I'm pretty sure it was, like, very intimate. And I got obsessed with that case because of this movie called Like Minds, which I've talked about in other videos. But I'm going on like 3 different side tangents just to circle back to this book. But anyways, so this movie Like Minds is kind of a story about these two boys that also have a very, like, interesting tension in their relationship, and they meet and they just feel this strange pull to each other, which is kind of what happened with the Leopold and Loeb case. And because I watched that movie and I was really fascinated with that idea of, like, two people being unable to function without the other one after they meet, and it leads them to do terrible things, basically. I got obsessed with that idea, and so that led me to Leopold and Loeb, and the Leopold and Loeb case led me back to this book because it's like, it's not a retelling of the crime, but it's kind of an interpretation of it, or inspired by. So the two characters in this book, Julian and Paul, are very much like Leopold and Loeb. They have that, it's from Paul's perspective, but they have that very, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, there's just, I can't even, oh my God. Their relationship is, like, essential. Like, they don't know how to live without each other, pretty much. And that's how it was with all these other cases in Like Minds and the actual Leopold and Loeb case. So it basically kind of transpires like the Leopold and Loeb case did. Like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I feel like the reason I read this was because of Leopold and Loeb. So it kind of gave me an idea of what was going to happen. And some things did happen very similarly to that case, but some of it was, like, not at all the same. But I think what I enjoyed most about it was getting to see the inside of Paul's head and Julian's head as well. But Paul specifically, because they seem so sane, but they're not. But there's never, like, because it's from Paul's perspective, there's never any... I don't even know how to describe this, you guys. It's just, I've been talking for 6 minutes about this already. But anyways, long story short, I finished this in 2 days. It's a thick one. And that's how good it was that I finished it in 2 days. So it feels really good to be reading again, because I think I said this in one of my last videos, but I didn't read it all for October. In November, I've been back on my reading grind. Yes, I have. It's been so fun. So this book just, it killed me. It killed me. So I'm still thinking about it. I don't know how I'm not going to be thinking about it. Because, like I said, I love that case so dearly. I love that case. I don't know why I love it so much, but it's kind of my special interest right now. I wrote a paper on it for my criminology class too, which was really fun. So anyways, highly recommend. It was such a beautiful, like, it was, you could, just seeing inside of their minds, the characters' minds, is so, the way that it was written and the prose, everything was just so purposeful, and each sentence was so well constructed. I gave this book 5 stars, by the way, but the only complaint I had about it was the vagueness. Sometimes there was moments where something big happened and I didn't realize it until there was a reaction to said event, because it was so vague about what happened and I didn't realize that something big had happened. But it wasn't a big enough deal to knock at any points, in my opinion. So, but that did happen quite a few times where I was like, wait, these characters are reacting so crazily, what just happened? I missed it. And then I'd go back and reread the lines and it wouldn't tell me what happened, but I was like, okay, something happened. And that also happened at a very important part at the end of the book, and I was really confused. But then I had to go online and I read some theories about it, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense now. But it wasn't a big enough issue to dock any points from it. So that being said, this book was incredible. I checked it out from the library, but I think I'm gonna have to buy my own copy because I want to reread it and I want to annotate it, and I need to own my own copy. I feel like I have to own my own copy of every 5-star book I read. It's just how it is for me. So anyways, These Violent Blades, incredible book. If you like crazy murder mysteries, not murder mysteries, it's not a murder mystery. If you like crazy boys, little screwed in the head, get on this. So that being said, finally started Babbel. I've had this copy for like 2 months. I lost my bookmark, so my mother gave me a dash white to use as a bookmark. But yeah, I started Babbel. I'm literally like I'm 14 pages in, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it yet, but so far so good. I keep saying this, but I've talked about it in other videos, but I changed my major this most recent fall, to humanities, and I started studying Latin, and it's been so much fun, and I've just been really obsessed with language and the idea of language and learning language and reading things in other tongues and stuff. So I feel like this book is coming to me at a really good time, and I kind of was doing that on purpose, and I waited to pick it up because I knew I wanted to read it when I was really feeling like invested in language learning, which is kind of where I'm at right now. So that's where I'm at with Babbel. I'm so excited to keep reading it. I love the cover. I want a signed copy because I already know this is going to be a 5-star. I already know it's going to be a 5-star. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with my reading. I've been reading a few other books too. Just random ones I picked out from my school library, but I've just been kind of picking them up here and there. They're not like books I'm sitting down with the purpose of finishing in one go, kind of like I am with these books. So anyways, that's where I'm at. Oh my god, I love books. I love reading. You know what my mom told me today? Actually no, I'm not gonna talk about that. I love books. I love reading. I love These Violent Lies. That also came out in 2020, which is fairly recent, I feel. So anyways, that's what's going on.